Alright, so today I'm back with yet another chapter review, and today we will go over chapter 284, which is going to be something really special, as this is without a doubt the best chapter we have gotten this entire year. As we will see, Isagi being a straight up menace. Firstly, he shuts down Rin before then going over to the masters, and legit declares war towards one of them. But that's not even the most insane part, as he finally asks Kaiser to work together in this chapter. And this is still just the tip of the iceberg, but I don't want to say anymore, so you will just have to sit back and watch to find out what happens. Anyway, before jumping into it, please subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with everything happening in Blue Lock, and also leave a like and comment as well as join the Discord server down in the comments. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get into it. So for chapter 284, also called Soul, we get right into a celebration as we can see all of the spectators watching and celebrating alongside the whole of Bastard Munchen. They are of course celebrating Gagamaru's outstanding save in the latest chapter. Both Raichi and the rat rush over to him, and the rat jumps on top of him out of happiness. The commentators screamed no goal, saying that Gin Gagamaru, in a nail-bitingly desperate situation, managed to keep his team alive with a big save. After that, we get over to Isagi, who is hitting this crazy, insanely cold pose as he hits the ground and clenches his fists. We also have two randoms behind him, pretending to be out of breath like they did something. And we also get a small panel of Rin biting his teeth together, being extremely frustrated about his missed goal. Anyway, after that, Hiyori comes by, and he pats Isagi's head while telling him that he actually managed to do it. Hiyori looks ecstatic and has big eyes as he compliments Isagi, and asks him just how much of that he calculated and calls him a monster. Isagi, who's sweating like crazy, says that, well, aside from Gagamaru's save, he had calculated all of it. After that, we get a small panel of the rat, Raichi, and Gagamaru still celebrating, and I love how funny Gagamaru looks as he does his peace sign. Anyway, Hiyori helps Isagi up from the ground while saying that it's nuts, and asks if Isagi had given up on beating Rin all the way from the start, which Isagi says that he had. He thinks back to his insane plays, and explains that if he had just charged in like normal, then he would have had a low chance of stopping him, so he just focused on restricting his shot course, and after that, he left the block up to Kaiser. Isagi thinks that if Rin's shot got past him, Rin would have definitely scored, and that was something that Kaiser could anticipate, and therefore Isagi trusted him to come and stop it, saying that he knew his psychology and abilities and managed to exploit them all. Hiyori looks at Isagi shocked while saying that it's crazy, and saying that Isagi used himself as a pawn and exploited Kaiser, then asking if this is the first time he's had to think of himself as the object and not others. Isagi just casually says that he guesses so. However, he says that if he lost here, then he would just disappear after being devoured by geniuses. So he figured his fleeting personal feelings don't really matter, and he felt like the only way out was to sell his soul to achieve victory, also saying that he found a new way of fighting. Also, he looks absolutely insane as he is saying this, and more puzzle pieces just start to appear around him. However, Hiyori looks a bit worried and asks Isagi what he means about selling his soul. We also see that Kaiser is having a sneak peek into their conversation from a bit away. Just as Isagi is about to further explain to Hiyori, he gets interrupted by none other than the rage monster Rin, who calls Isagi tepid. He asks him if he's really that happy about blocking one measly shot, and not only that, but saying that Isagi's striker ego is totally rotten. Neither Hiyori nor Isagi says anything to start, but then Isagi's hair starts to cover his eyes, and then we know that it's really about to go down, as he says that Rin is the tepid one. Rin is just confused and asks him what he is talking about. Isagi then says that it wasn't just one measly shot, as the whole world wanted a super goal from Rin himself. They were waiting for the birth of a hero in the Neo-Egoist League. However, Isagi clenches his fist, and an aura starts to appear around it as he says that he tore that away from him and also crushed it. We see that both of the masters are also eagerly listening in to the conversation, as Isagi continues and says that he bent history to his will, and that his logic surpassed Rin's inspiration. After that, Isagi looks super manic and overall scary as he looks straight towards Rin and says that he proved that a talented learner can defeat a genius, also saying that he's never felt such egotistic pleasure and calls Rin a beast. Rin is just in total shock as he doesn't understand what has gotten into Isagi. However, I love that the savage and bold Isagi that we love is back, as he doesn't care about anything anymore. However, the commentators break off the intense tension between the two, as they say that the 3 minutes for the star change system are up, and that the masters are being forcibly swapped out. Loki looks a bit annoyed and says that he got it, but as he is leaving, he says that his playing was all for nothing. saying that he joined because it seemed fun, but that he can't believe that Rin was unable to score off his pass, which is just so insane by putting all of the blame on one of his players. But sure. However, the little brat isn't done just yet, as he says that at this rate it will take 10,000 years before the world's best striker comes from Japan. However, someone who isn't going to let that slide is, of course, the new savage Isagi, whose eyes have just gotten fully blank as he straight up tells Loki to shut it and that he is the one who lost. Loki looks back and asks him what he is on about. Isagi continues and says that his visualization and the future were where Rin scored. It was none other than both Isagi and Kaiser who managed to smash it apart. While still having his eyes totally blanked out, he starts emitting an aura on top of it as he tells Loki to just be a man and admit that he lost, saying that Loki is awfully full of himself for someone who just happened to be born fast. And when I tell you that I was jumping out of my seat from excitement, I mean it. This is what Blue Lock is all about, the insane shit talk. Anyway, Loki loses it as he hears it, and it looks like he plans to absolute murder Isagi. But just then Noah comes by and places his hand on Isagi's shoulder and tells him that it's enough and that this is streaming worldwide. However, he does admit that his play definitely surpassed what they could have imagined, calling Isagi's play a victory, and is about to give him some tips on what to do from now, I would assume. But it's hard to say when Isagi isn't even letting Noah speak as he cuts him off, and also shoves Noah's hand off his shoulder. Isagi tells him to shut up, and calls him a shitty master, saying that he is just like Loki, and we can just see on Noah's eyes that he doesn't like this at all. Isagi reminds Noah that he used him as a tool to get Kaiser to awaken, and says that he doesn't trust Noah anymore. After that, he starts to squeeze Noah's hand extremely hard, and also drags him closer to him, but not in the lovey-dovey type of way, as he looks furious, while telling Noah that he will bring him a theory that surpasses him, and tells him to just keep waiting at the top for him, as Isagi declares that the next World Cup is his. Noah, who's just so bland, just says that he's looking forward to it and says Isagi's name, but like, come on, couldn't we have gotten something more, like even a "I would like to see you try" would have gotten me more fired up, but whatever, it's Noah after all. However, after that declaration, the world is in total shock, as the commentators say that he just declared war against Noah, his own team's master. After that, Karasu adds in by asking him who Isagi thinks he's picking a fight with. The rat just looks in shock as he says Isagi's name, but Hiyori, the sadist himself, looks hyped up to the max while calling Isagi a dumbass and saying that he is totally twisted. After that, we can see Isagi walking peacefully on the pitch, or maybe not peacefully as he has just declared war, but you get what I mean. He thinks that he has to sell his soul for victory, abandon all of his pride and useless sentiment, and says that if he uses himself as a tool, he can go as far as defeating Rin. After that, we see that Isagi was in fact walking towards Kaiser. However, he looks like a straight-up demon behind him, as he tells Kaiser that thanks to him being here, he found a new way of thinking. Kaiser isn't fully understanding what Isagi is getting at, but then we get a close-up of Isagi, and I can't even describe what his face looks like, but it just looks like this is the only thing that really matters to him, and he looks like he is determined to get it, as he has an insane aura around him while he asks Kaiser to team up. It looks like Kaiser is just thinking what the fuck, as they have been going on fighting for about 100 chapters by now, but Isagi, determined and having a ton of puzzle pieces around him, puts his hand out and tells Kaiser that the two of them can end this neo-egoist league together. The text at the bottom says, "An unexpected tag team, a proposal that goes beyond the fence, invites the Emperor and Isagi to join forces." The next chapter is going to be called The Contract, so I don't want to say it for sure, but I can't see a world where Kaiser doesn't just swallow his pride and go along with this, as it would definitely benefit both of them. This is for sure the best chapter we have gotten this year, and I can't express how hyped I was while reading this insanity of a chapter, but we have to quickly go over it. First, I know that this has basically nothing to do with anything, but why did this Isagi pose have to go so insanely hard? Like, he just looks so cold in this panel anyway. I love when Isagi simply shut Rin the hell up by saying that it wasn't just a simple goal he defended, but he proved to the whole world that a talented learner like himself can in fact beat a genius. And bro, just look at him here. The savage Isagi we have been begging for is finally back in action. But it wasn't just Rin who got the smoke, as he even went for both of the masters, firstly calling out Loki while looking like a straight-up demon. He legit told Loki to be a man and admit his loss, which I also do agree with, as he tried to blame Rin instead of just admitting that he wasn't a good enough master to get his team to score. But when Isagi told him that he's awfully full of himself just because he was born fast, I was just dying. Like, just look at Loki here. If Noah didn't start speaking up, I think that he would have rushed over and tried to murder Isagi or something. because he looks so furious right here. And then straight after disrespecting Loki, he went over and legit declared war on the best player in the whole world, legit squeezing his hand as hard as he can while telling him not to lose and to wait for Isagi to come and beat him, even saying that the next World Cup is his. And this is why I love Isagi, because he doesn't care what he says. He just says it. And saying something like this while it is broadcasted to the whole world is wild. I can't wait to see the reaction of the other Blue Lock players to this. I can just imagine both Bachira and Chigiri teasing him about this. Also, the thing that I've been praying for will most likely finally come true. Now we can't say for certain, because Kaiser is still an arrogant bastard, so he might end up refusing this offer. But that would be so whack in my opinion. Like a team up between the two of them would break the internet without a doubt. And I can't even see bastard Munchen losing if this is the case, but please let it happen. Anyway, I think that I will end it here, but please tell me what you think about this insane chapter down below in the comments. And if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you are at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.